So over the last 5 years, Tata Motors has grown its market share from a 5% into the FY19 to 14% now.
Yeah.
If you look at as on 31st March, Maruti Suzuki was comfortable at 41.71%. Hyundai was at about 14.5%, and Tata Motors was 13.8%. So we are seeing that Tata Motors and Hyundai are very close, so to speak. So once it becomes an Indian company, as an Indian listed company, that's number 2 position is what Hyundai has to protect rather than going for chasing Maruti.
Right.
Secondly, you have to push up exports because those are better margins. The other point is, of course, how the transition strategy that Hyundai has taken at this point of time. It's actually 3-pronged. So first is, of course, premiumization. About 67% of the sales are from the SUV space. They are better equipped in terms of technology, 6 airbags standard, so that's a good selling point, so to speak, something that Maruti has so far shied away from. So those things are working in favor of Hyundai. Again, like how it's becoming the export base. We remember that there is some amount of pushback for Chinese electric cars abroad, in Europe as well as US. So that's one gap that's opened up for Hyundai to fill going ahead in the EV space as well.
What about sub 10 lakhs cars? Because
that's a very interesting point.
That's a big
That's
area.
about a 49% market share in overall sales, in sales volume in India. So in that space, Hyundai has sedans, hatchbacks, SUVs, all of them. So we have a Grand i10, we have the i20, best-selling, the first premium hatchback to actually come into India. We have the Venue, we have the Exter. So between all shapes and sizes, the best-selling car that Hyundai has, the money maker, so to speak, is the Creta, which lies in the 11 to 20 lakh price bracket. That's where all the volumes come in. That's where the company makes its margins. Above 20 lakhs, we have the Alcazar, which is a multi-purpose vehicle, which is a 7-seater. Not so many volumes, but given how Hyundai is focused on SUVs, or an Alcazar, a Creta, an Exter, a Venue, all do their part in delivering those SUV volumes.
Right. Well, there's plenty of, conversation left around here, and we're running out of time, so we'll quickly run through maybe just 1 or 2 points more. Puneet, very quickly, share on exports, because that's something that even Tushar touched upon.
Yeah, I think we did speak about a little bit that currently roughly 25% of total volumes for Hyundai is coming from the export market. We've seen that India currently, of course, is the largest share, but they have been expanding their market share, as Tushar highlighted, in Europe, in Middle East as well. The share has gone up doubly, while for something like a Latin America, they have maintained market share. So exports is, of course, a big focus market for someone like a Hyundai. And within India as well, we have seen that, as we spoke about the compact SUV space, where there wasn't much players until Mahindra with the 3XO. That's a 6 lakh unit per year market. So that's a huge market where they have high market share as well, which is getting in newer first-time buyers as well who want something bigger than a smaller car. And this Exter and the Venue fits perfectly there. As well as the exports, the margins, of course, are much better for the company, and it's becoming a global hub right here from India to service other nations as well.
What is the EV play here, Tushar?
So the EV play here is that Hyundai is not selling as many electric cars as it would want.
Right.
Tata is way better at that level, and it's a future technology. We are moving towards that. So that's where Hyundai has to play catch up, and it has plans to do that.
Right.
So right now it has 2 cars, the Ioniq 5 as well as the Kona, which are very well above 25 lakh market. But as per the DRHP, there'll be 4 EVs that are coming very soon. One of them is a mass market product, as well as an electrified version of the best-selling Creta. That is due, I think, in Q4 of FY25. So yes, they have lined up. It's again for Tata Motors' market share to lose, so to speak, when competition from Hyundai comes in, competition from Mahindra and Mahindra comes in, because they also have an aggressive battery electric lineup ready for them.
Right.
So the big question which everyone is asking, will it be expensive, right, Puneet? So can you give us an idea of how expensive will it be compared to Maruti or a Tamo?
So when you look at the current numbers, of course, we spoke about the higher, the higher depreciation and the lower profitability. So the current P ratio does cover around the 36 times for someone like a Hyundai versus 29 times for a Maruti Suzuki. But going forward, we might see some more changes in this particular manner. We will see how the company performs in this particular way. The other thing is that going forward, like PE is a forward-looking metric. 2 years down the line, we will be seeing, of course, the Maruti EV also coming in, but Hyundai is already present there. They've already seen what the market is, and they have a lot of products gaps that are already filled with the compact SUV, with the So we did have, as we spoke about, the back of the run calculation of roughly 2 lakh crores of market cap. This is an assumption of $25 billion of valuation for the company. We do come at roughly 2,500 per share, but we will wait for the company to come out with much more details on the price band as well as how much are they raising in total. And finally, just one thing that I wanted to highlight, that Maruti Suzuki currently in India, which listed a couple of decades ago, the valuations are 50% higher to their global parent in Japan. Currently, Hyundai is coming at half of the valuation of their global parent. So it'd be very important to see how finally over the next few years, and this is much of a long-term story, what happens finally with Hyundai, how it gets accepted in the market, because the global play, of course, is one of the most important things, but the domestic market where India is becoming such a big market, and by FY30 we are expected to have 70 lakh cars sold in India from roughly 40 lakhs now. Right. So it'll be a very important aspect for Hyundai getting listed here in India.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot of ground, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to cover over the course of the next few weeks, even as we get more details with respect to the valuations on the Hyundai IPO. But on behalf of Sajid and me, thanking both Tushar and Puneet for joining us and giving us a lot of insights there with respect to the latest in the auto sector.